Hi guys, this is John from WaltonsInc.com, and this is Meatgistics. Andouille is a Cajun sausage that can be made a number of different ways. Now we sell it as Andouille Cajun Fresh, but you can easily add cure and make it a smoked sausage, which is what we've done here. We also went ahead and added some shrimp to it, about 5% of the total weight. It gives it a great little taste. I love it. I've done that the last few times I've made andouille, and it's really popular. Now I'm also going to be using sodium erythorbate here instead of encapsulated citric acid as a cure accelerator, because I want to smoke it the same day I'm stuffing it, but I don't want the tang that the encapsulated citric acid will give it. So sodium erythorbate is a good thing to use, but you have to be very careful when measuring it out. 7/8 of an ounce of sodium erythorbate is enough cure accelerator to use for 100 pounds of meat. So we have to be really precise when we're measuring out amounts, even for 25-pound batches. If you're going any smaller than that, I do not recommend sodium erythorbate, as it's just too hard to measure out. So the first thing we need to do is take our pork butts and debone them. We want to make sure that we get all of that fat cap into our mix. We don't want to lose any of that. Just go ahead and cut around the bone, fairly simple, till you have it in good sized chunks. Now it's up to you how much of the meat you want to get off of the bone. Once you separate the main portion of the pork butt from the bone, that is probably 80% of the meat. Getting everything around the bone can be a pain and you can nick your knife. So if you don't need to be too precise with it, you can leave a decent amount on the bone or get almost all of it off and just spend that extra time. Next thing we need to do is grind. Now, for andouille, we're gonna do this as a cured sausage, so I'm gonna grind it twice. First time through a 3/8 inch plate, and then through a 1/8 inch plate. If we were doing this fresh, I'd just go twice through a 3/8 inch plate. But when it's cured, we want a different particle definition, and it's also gonna make protein extraction easier. So once through a 3/8 and then once through a 1/8 plate. We went ahead and put our grinder head assembly, plates, and knives in the freezer before we did this. Now we did this for two reasons. One, it helps speed up any type of grinding. Just the colder it is, the better it's gonna be. But we're also working with shrimp here, so you really wanna make sure you're keeping everything cold. The shrimp, I just ground a single time through the 3/8 inch plate and called it good. I made sure that those shrimp were nice and frozen before I went ahead and grind them. Now to mix this, I went ahead and added all my pork to the mixer. Then I added my seasoning, my Sure Gel, my sodium erythorbate, and my water, which I had already mixed my Sure Cure into. Then I went ahead and mixed it for a few minutes, and then I added my shrimp. Now notice how cold that shrimp still is, even though it's ground. That's because after I ground it, I put it back in the freezer. Again, you want to keep that extremely cold. Then I went ahead and just mixed it, switching directions every minute or so until I had good protein extraction, and I could see that that shrimp was evenly distributed throughout all of the meat. Now as you can see here, my meat is nice and sticky, and as I try to pull it apart, it stretches. It doesn't simply break apart. And then when I hold my hand upside down, it clings to my hand. It doesn't just fall right off. That's a good telltale sign that you have a decent amount of protein extraction and you're ready for stuffing. Now to stuff these, I chose 30mm clear collagen casings. Now the reason I'm choosing clear instead of fresh is I want to hang these in my smokehouse. And while the fresh looks the same as the clear, it is different. The clear will allow you to hang something in the smokehouse. The fresh will not. If you try to hang fresh, you're going to open your smokehouse, you're going to have half your product on the floor. It's just not strong enough. Now there's a slight disadvantage to using the clear collagen casings versus the fresh. The fresh are definitely a little bit more tender and they have a nicer bite than the clear do. But can't hang the fresh, so I went with the clear. Now to stuff these, I just went ahead and put it into the bottom of my stuffer and I kept packing it down to make sure that I didn't have any air pockets in there. Then I went ahead and just started stuffing, keeping a nice steady pressure on the collagen casings to make sure I was stuffing them mostly full, but not so that they were bursting. Remember, I'm gonna hang these, so they need to have a little bit of give to them. We're gonna smoke these with a pretty simple smoke schedule. We're gonna do a 10-minute drying phase with our dampers wide open at 110 degrees. At this point, we don't wanna add any smoke and we don't wanna add a water pan if you're doing this at home. Then we're gonna up the temperature to 120 degrees, and this is when we're gonna start adding smoke and when we're gonna add a water pan. Now, if you're adding that water pan, I'd also suggest you just get some big automotive sponges, put it down in the water pan. What this does is it increases the surface area and it's gonna up the relative humidity in your smoker. Then we're gonna go to 145 for 30 minutes, 165 for 30 minutes, and again, both of those with humidity and smoke. And then finally, we're gonna up it to 185 degrees, and we're gonna go ahead and leave it in there until the internal temperature is 160 degrees. If your smoker has a shower schedule, go ahead and run that for 10 minutes. If not, you can go ahead and throw them in an ice bath for 10 minutes or so, just till the heat comes down. We wanna stop the cooking process, and it helps set the casing as well. So we didn't link these, so we've got nice long straight stretches that we can cut up, put in gumbos, put in soups, serve as samples, which is what these are gonna be, and generally just enjoy. Obviously you can link them, it doesn't change it, but I wouldn't classically eat an andouille with a bun, so there's no real reason to go ahead and link them in my opinion. Taste of these is phenomenal. I love our andouille, and I know it sounds weird adding shrimp to a sausage, but give it a try once, you'll absolutely love it with this seasoning. As always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and visit waltonsinc.com and meatjuststicks.com to find everything but the meat. Thanks for watching. I'm John with waltonsinc.com, and I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe to Walton's YouTube channel to watch more amazing videos, or shop at waltonsinc.com to find everything but the meat. Check out our latest sales and giveaway video here, or watch another hand-picked video by clicking here.